So for this week, I have decided to discuss something that's actually really near and dear to my heart, and that is animal rescue. My mother actually runs an animal rescue, so I grew up with surrounded by foster dogs and rescue dogs, and I've driven thousands of miles as part of animal transports, and been to done the whole shelter event thing, and it's really just something that has been a big part of my life and kind of shaped a little bit of who I am and the way I approach animals and things like that. And now that I'm older, I'm actually really surprised when I see like my friends and my family going out to start to make the decision to add an animal to their family, and they're really quick to actually dismiss shelter dogs and rescues and things like that, which is really surprising to me. First of all, I mean, there's just the sheer number of animals that are in rescue. The ASPCA reports that approximately 7.6 million animals are put in shelters a year. Of those, about 3.9 million are dogs and 3.4 million are cats. Of those animals that are put in shelters, the American Humane Society reported that about 3.7 million are actually euthanized each year. So that's about half the animals going into shelters are euthanized and don't even get the chance to have a home found for them. What I found a lot of people talking about is how they want these purebreds. They have, whatever their dream dog in mind is. I mean, even I have, the purebred dog that I love, and I'm a standard poodle. I love standard poodles. But even with that, I was actually able to find a purebred dog in rescue. I have a purebred standard poodle who I adopted from a rescue in Kentucky. So even if you want those purebreds, you can find them in a shelter. You don't have to go to a breeder where you're going to, first of all, pay thousands of dollars. But, I mean, second of all, you're going to be able to now take an animal out of the shelters and be able to allow those rescues and shelters to move on to other animals to be able to take care of. And what actually a lot of people don't realize with purebreds is purebreds actually have a lot more health problems than, the kind of good old American mutt. And the reasoning behind that is because in order to keep these purebreds pure, their bloodline pure, they're actually having to inbreed a lot of these animals. In an article published by the Huffington Post called Understanding the Risks of Your Purebreds, they actually outline a lot of these problems that people are facing where they're getting purebreds and as puppies they're having major organ failures, a lot of cancers, a lot of maybe neurological problems, things like that. And that's purely because they're just inbred. And even the best of breeders can't always, aren't able to breed out the, hundreds of years of inbreeding these dogs have had into them. And it's basically created animals that are not living as long of lives, and towards the end of their lives are actually having to deal with catastrophic medical problems. So I personally always advocate for mixed breeds because, I mean, first of all, you never know what you're going to get. Your dog's never going to look like anyone else's, and you can find them in shelters much more easier than purebreds. But if you're a dead set on a purebred, you can find them in a shelter. If for whatever reason you are also dead set on a, kind of a little side note, dead set on a purebred breeder, please do your research. A lot of the kind of backyard breeders that you experience maybe in your local hometown are actually feeding largely into the rescue systems because they themselves are having extremely inhumane practices. And these aren't just the puppy mills. These are some of your local small breeders who are just they're not humane to their breeding dogs, and we end up with a lot of those in the rescue system. So some of the benefits of rescuing from a shelter, a lot of people don't realize, is that you get a lot of medical benefits for dogs. So you're going to get your dog, every dog, I've never experienced a rescue who hasn't neutered their dog and done some basic vaccinations. Actually, the North Shore Animal League, which is one of the country's largest animal rescues, they're based out of New York. On their website outlines a lot of the processes that are not just extremely common for them, but extremely common for all rescues and are involved in all the rescues that they additionally support. So they outline that they have their different medical processes that they go through. such as neutering and their initial vaccinations that you're going to deal with for puppies and even later on down for older dogs. So those are costs you don't have to worry about and things that you don't have to worry about getting done initially with your dog that are taken care of for you by a rescue that might not be done with by a breeder. In addition, a lot of rescues will um, at a later date, like if you contact them and you've gotten your dog through them and you tell them that many years down the line that your dog has some catastrophic medical issue that you might not be able to just take on. Something has happened. A lot of times they will try to help you in whatever way can. Now they can't always pay for the whole cost, but they will try to maybe do fundraisers and things like that for you in order to help, so that you can keep that dog and it's not another dog that they get back that they have to incur that cost. So, in closing, I hope that next time you do go out and start looking for a dog, that you do actually take a look at your breeders or your local rescues over your breeders, because there are so many more benefits getting a rescue. Um, so, good luck, and hope that if you are looking for a dog, that you're able to find one through a rescue. So.